Hi, I'm Paolo from Bad Pixel. Just want to do a really quick video today to talk a little bit about pipelining CAD material into VR, specifically Solidworks parts and assemblies into Unreal Studio. Okay, so here we are in Solidworks, and we can see we have a simple assembly constructed of a few parts that we modeled. For the sake of demonstration today, we're going to keep it fairly light. Nothing really special that you need to do in Solidworks. You can just save your parts and assemblies as you normally would. Okay, here we are in Unreal Studio 4.2.0, I believe. It's important to note that the Datasmith plugin is not available for Unreal Engine. So if you're running Engine, you'll need to upgrade to Studio in order to access the plugin and its features. Once we have the plugin loaded, we'll need to enable it. Once the Datasmith plugin is enabled, we'll see a new icon appear on the shelf called Import Datasmith. Now we're just going to go into the drop-down menu and hit Import CAD. And then we will select our file. We're going to choose an assembly file. Once you've selected the file to import, you're going to get another screen that will be the destination folder for the Datasmith export. Now once we've chosen our export folder, we're going to get the Datasmith import options dialog box. We're not going to go into any of this in any detail. It's pretty self-explanatory. The main function of this is to control the resolution of the mesh that's imported by the Datasmith plugin. So now we're going to drop our assembly that we've imported into an environment that we've prepared, which was also modeled in SolidWorks. Now one of the great things that we found when we imported the assembly through the Datasmith plugin was not just clean geometry, but the Datasmith plugin actually read an assembly from SolidWorks as SolidWorks would read it. And it imported all of the parts that make up the assembly, placed them appropriately in 3D space. They appear in the outliner in Unreal as separate objects, so they can be independently manipulated if necessary. Now another really cool thing that we noticed about the Datasmith imports was they maintained some basic characteristics of the materials that were applied in SolidWorks, and they carried over into Unreal. So once you access your shader library, you notice that there's some basic shaders that come in with the import. Now you can either build up these basic shaders, make something that's more photorealistic, or you can load up a preset library and reassign new shaders to these areas. One thing that's always a concern when dealing with Unreal are light maps, and while we found that the Datasmith plugin did a great job generating auto light maps, in certain instances we were finding some dirty shadows here and there that were kind of difficult to fix within Unreal. In those cases, it was no problem to just open the FBX files that were exported by Datasmith in Maya, adjust the light maps, and then resave the files. So now we'll take a look at the content being played back in VR in real time. This is a 16:9 capture off of one of our monitors, but the actual content is being played back through an Oculus Rift headset, so it's full stereoscopic 3D VR, real time at 90 frames per second, and it looks great in the headset. Since we started working with SolidWorks, we've been trying different ways of pipelining the geometry out of SolidWorks and into our 3D package of choice, which is Autodesk Maya. When we imported directly into Maya, our meshes were pretty dirty. So now we found ourselves not just using the Datasmith plugin for real-time in Unreal, but we're also using it for imports into the pre-rendered side and the Maya side. For those familiar with SolidWorks, you probably know that there is some real-time 3D and VR functionality built into the software package. We played around with this briefly, but came to realize almost right away that its offerings in terms of render quality and features was lackluster at best. Once we realized how seamlessly and cleanly geometry flowed directly from SolidWorks into the Unreal environment using the Datasmith plugin, we got really excited at the opportunity to offer photorealistic, real-time 3D and VR visualization services to some of our clients who might be using SolidWorks as their main design tool. Now this is the first time we've ever tried a video of this sort, so if you found it engaging or useful in any way, please like and subscribe and all that. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Paolo from Bad Pixel. See ya.